Alright, hello everyone. I have nothing else going on today, so I'm just going to cover some of my early game Nova builds. I had an account on PS4, but this is my MR7 profile. It's pretty low MR on PC. I have 98 hours in game, so this is what I consider an early game Nova build. They're kind of budget builds. They're not like max efficiency builds. I have a Speedva build, which is what I first got my Nova for. I have a Slova build, which is nothing special, and I have a Wormhole Nova build. And I'll show all three of them off and sort of how to get them. They shouldn't be very hard. Now, keep in mind that my Nova build is 3 Forma. It's not necessarily, it's a decent bit of investment. You have to level your Nova 4 times, but you should be able to get through it. So this is a pretty basic speed Nova build. With Speedvo, you want the lowest amount of power strength you have, so that your molecular prime has a slow effect on it, and then you just want to get some of your range and duration up. So pretty simple power duration. Coaction drift just sort of boosts the power duration. Power donation is really good for Nova just because it minuses your ability strength, which allows us to get even faster, and it gives ability strength to your squad mates. So if you're farming, it's good for Hydroids and your other farming frames. Coaction Drift is just good. Constitution, I have Constitution here for a little bit more ability duration. The knockdown recovery isn't huge, but it definitely comes in handy time to time. I run Continuity for a little bit more duration. Overextended just boosts the range and takes a decent portion out of your strength. Overextended is kind of it's one of the best mods for Speedva. You should look into getting this. It's around a 10 plat mod, I believe, at the moment. So you might have to farm up a little bit for that, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal to get. Streamlined, pretty easy. Narrow-minded. This one, I don't even have my narrow-minded maxed. Um, it's quite a bit of investment to max a narrow-minded, but as you see, um, you don't really need to max it, especially because this is pretty much the most Speedva you're gonna need, right? Like there's always the over the top Speedva build, but this has the most slow you can get, or this is the fastest you can make enemies because you have the lowest amount of strength on your Nova, and it's it's just solid. You don't need to max your narrow-minded. I have mine uh my narrow-minded. I'm not sure what level it's at. I'm guessing it's level 12-ish, maybe level 11. But you don't need to max it. You definitely can max it, but it's definitely not needed. Flow just for the extra energy. You can probably replace flow. Maybe if you wanted extra loot, you could run Thief's Wit, but I just run flow for the extra energy. And then augur message just for the duration and vitality. Now notice I don't have a max vitality here, and it's it's fine. You don't need the max amount of health. I have oh jeez. Oh, okay. 580 health, 300 shield. That's fine. Um, if you want, you could invest more into vitality and then maybe replace your flow with a rage, which might give you a little bit more energy, especially because this is an early game build and I don't have arcane energize and I'm working up the matter eye tree, so I don't have the Zenuric dash. So you could definitely replace this with Rage and maybe a little bit higher leveled Vitality if you wanted to have more energy supply. So this is essentially a Speed Nova build. My Slova build is kind of budget, but essentially it's just the opposite. You want to increase your power strength. Now this is not nearly the highest power strength you can get. I don't have a max level Transient Fortitude, and I'm not really hyper invested in a slow Nova build. But this is a slow Nova build. Like the opposite of your Speedva build, you want to put into power strength. And then you essentially just want to go with like every other thing. You want to go with your duration, range and some efficiency, and then just get rid of your strength for Speedva and get rid of it for gain strength for Slova. So once again, pretty much the same thing. I have Augur's Secrets and Intensify for my strength gaining. Because you don't want your negative ability strength from power donation, I'm running Energy Siphon on this build, which just gives me a little bit more energy and allows me to sustain a little bit better. Vitality, once again, just there for a little bit of bulk, survivability. Flow, once again, just sort of there for the max energy. I don't necessarily need quick thinking here. I just couldn't think of anything else to replace it with. I You might be able to place it with something like coaction drift, but I can't do that because I don't have my thing polarity right. I have cunning drift just for a little bit of extra ability range. I could definitely swap this out for coaction drift here. There's like no reason not to. I just have cunning drift for a little bit more range on my build. Um, Other than that, if you don't want to spend the extra plat on cutting drift is 10, 15 plat mod. And you already have a coaction drift from the Speedo build, just definitely run coaction. There won't be many downsides with that. Quick thinking is just a relatively simple mod. I don't even think mine's not even leveled, I don't think. Constitution, just for a little bit more duration, streamline for efficiency, and a non-max transient fortitude for strength. So this is a pretty budget slow Nova build, but this is something you can go for. Augur's Secrets might be some amount of investment. You can get it from the second to max level Cetus bounties. You can get them from Thumpers, which is how I would recommend farming it. You have a decent chance to get them from Thumpers. Any range of Thumper will do. You don't have to fight Domas or Bulls. You can just fight the normal Tusk Thumpers that start at like level 15 or something. So that's an early-ish game way to get Augur Secrets. However, to be fair, you should be able to hunt Thumpers and do the higher level bounties by the time you're getting Nova Prime with 3 stars. Uh, yeah, Transient Fortitude is a plat investment. You could technically farm for these. I personally just like to buy them for plat just because I find vaults painful. And then that's pretty much it. Energy Siphon. Um, Sometimes you can get Energy Siphon from your Nightwave, especially if you really want. You can wait for your Nightwave stuff to come around, and Energy Siphon hopefully will show up there. And then this is the new build I've created. It's a Wormhole Nova build. And essentially what I'm doing here is I'm not stacking HP, or I have Thief Sweat instead of Vitality. I could easily run a Vitality instead of Thief Sweat here. It wouldn't be any extra investment, and I still have 11 in uh, capacity left, which would give me an extra 280 health. But just because I like running this build um, a lot when I'm looking for stuff, and I also have a redirection in here, I just run Thief Sweat. I have zero idea why I can't find my Thief Sweat right now. Right here, yeah. So you can just run Thief Sweat. I like using this mostly for planes because I can teleport myself across the map and find wisps or look for any other stuff. And I can replace redirection here. Um, I generally want to run Vitality for like survivability, and redirection is kind of a bad mod, but you can run it for like chip damage. I chose redirection because I'm gonna be, flying across the plains, and I have a lot of extra slots, so I'm not gonna be taking very much damage to my health, and I can recover shields. Energy Siphon, once again, sort of just to keep your energy up, and this build is very energy reliant because what you're gonna be doing is spamming your wormhole, right? And this has a duration of 20.8 seconds, which doesn't necessarily matter. You can have 4 portals up. It drains 52.5 energy per use and has a range of 140 meters, which is pretty solid. This is a pretty good wormhole build. It can probably be better, but it's solid for pretty much whatever you're gonna need here. But that energy drain is pretty consuming, and this is only gonna give you 0.7, 0.7, 0.5, 0.8 energy per second, which is definitely nice. But Arcane Energize, which ooh, I'm not gonna get an Arcane Energize for a long time now. And the Xeneric Tree will definitely help your Wormhole Nova build. No doubt about that. Definitely worth looking into, especially if your only reason for getting Nova is your Wormhole. And also, mentioning this, the Speedva and the Slova build are the only ones that I have 3 Forma on. I don't believe that I need 3 Forma on this. I might need 1 or 2 Forma, but your Speedva build's the only thing you need Forma on. And technically, if you didn't want to run this much Forma, you could you could probably drop one of you could probably not level Narrow-Minded as high, or you could Forma your power donation, which will give you 7 extra. If you knew this was the build you were gonna run, what you could probably do is you could probably Forma your power donation slot for your Speedva. And this would be weird because most of these other ones require a flat slot, and this requires, I don't know what I would call that, a fork slot. Um, you could forma that and get 7 more, which would give you more capacity, which would allow you to run the mods like they are and still have the same effectiveness. However, you're restricting yourself and making it a lot harder to run a Slova and a Wormhole Nova build. You could, I guess, run Corrosive Projection on some of these. I just like the extra energy recovery that you get from your energy siphons, and Speedwa runs power donation. So these are some of my early game Nova Prime builds. If you have any suggestions in the comment section, any other builds that you want me to showcase, I can go ahead and give you some of my early game builds for what other frames do I have? I can give you some builds for Saren, Excal, and I haven't leveled my Volt yet, but I should have a build for him shortly here. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, maybe drop a comment. If you have any suggestions, just drop a comment, and I'll see you later. Bye.